Hi, I'm Michael, and this is California. As we enter into July and get closer to August, it looks like we might be heading back into a lockdown as a result of the pandemic starting to revive. This leaves a lot of questions about whether or not the expanded SNAP and PEBT benefits that were first rolled out in March and have continued through June will last till the end of July. And the short answer is, in some states yes, and in some states no, even if they did previously expand the benefits through the end of last month. So today we are going to discuss whether or not SNAP and PEBT benefits will be extended until the end of July, which states are participating and which states are not. But before we do that, if you like this information, if you find it interesting, if you find it useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. So let's do a recap of the PEBT and SNAP programs first. So authorized by the Families First Act, this bill provided the Agriculture Department with the money and the authority they needed to develop new temporary programs like the Pandemic EBT program and expanding existing food programs like SNAP. This was meant to help with so many people being on lockdown and the subsequent increase in cost of staple foods like meat, eggs, poultry, and cereals. But both the expansion of SNAP and the PEBT programs were only meant to be temporary, really just for a few months until the economy was able to recover from the first wave of the lockdown. And now, although people have started to go back to work very slowly, some of the expanded food benefits have been continually renewed on a month-to-month basis. That's because jobs and employment numbers have not even begun to get close to the pre-pandemic levels. Now, depending on the state a person lives in, it really means the difference of getting this extra help for food or not, because it's up to the states to continually renew the extra benefits from month to month. But not all states have done the renewal through the month of July. Now for the Pandemic EBT program. So for this program, the last day to apply was June 30th in most states. And for families who were eligible, most were automatically enrolled. But you could still apply. If you were approved, it provided a benefit of up to $365 for a 4-month period to help pay for the cost of children who would normally get free or reduced meals at school but are at home and obviously still eating. So it was meant to help families budget as the kids are eating more food at home. Now, this program doesn't look to have been extended past the initial period from March through June. Now, hopefully, if another stimulus package does get approved this month by the House, the Senate, and the White House, and there may be some additional funds for this program through the summer, but unfortunately, at the moment, no states have expanded PEBT past June. So SNAP has had extended and expanded benefits since the beginning of March. And this has helped families across the country at a time when food prices have stayed really high and many people are either not working or have reduced working hours. And this has been a big help to many of those families because with the expanded benefits, households are able to get the maximum allowable food allowance for their household size. Additionally, single able-bodied adults who would not normally be able to qualify for any SNAP benefits are able to get some SNAP benefits as well. This SNAP extension of expanded benefits is continuing through July in some states, and it is possible for states to request an extension into August. Now, this being the case, not all states have continued the extension through the end of July. Even some states who previously had extended benefits will not have continued them past June, even though they are still forcing much of their workforce into the lockdown because of the second wave of the pandemic. These states are Massachusetts, the Virgin Islands, New York, Nebraska, and Mississippi. And it's not clear why these states would remove these much needed benefits at a time when the need is still so high. But if you live in one of these states, it may be a good question to ask your state representative and encourage them to bring back the expanded SNAP benefits into August. Additionally, there are some ways that Congress should consider to ensure that hungry families in the USA get the assistance that they need. And these suggestions could really help families survive until the economy gets back on its feet. The first and easiest thing they could do is to guarantee that the extended and expanded benefits for SNAP will last at least until the end of the year. Additionally, they should consider increasing SNAP benefits a minimum of 15%. So not only maxing out the amount that families can get, but also raising the amount that they can get to help compensate for increased food prices, as well as to help those families who are already getting the max but are still struggling. Finally, they should strongly encourage all states to participate in the SNAP extension. This would not just help the people who are in states who had pre-pandemic SNAP programs that were very strong, but would assist everybody who is struggling with food insecurities in the country right now. Because the reality is, hunger doesn't stop at state lines. Undoubtedly, more food benefits will be necessary, especially with the end of additional federal money that was being paid to businesses like the PPP that will be ending by the end of July. This could potentially mean, if the economy is not back up and running, a huge influx of Americans getting laid off and needing benefits like SNAP, in addition to rental assistance and maybe even another stimulus check. So right now, it is up to Congress to make the right decision to pass some sort of stimulus package that will provide more money for these programs to ensure that hardworking Americans and their families don't go hungry, even if our economy is not ready to get back to work yet. Thank you so much for watching our videos, and I hope that you found them interesting or helpful or at least useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Also, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. We love to see your comments and questions, and we'll be happy to make a new video or a new post as soon as we can. Now finally, we here at California, we know health insurance. So whether it's private health insurance or Covered California or Medicare or Medicaid or Medi-Cal, or even health insurance for a small group, we know health insurance. Because I know it can be very complicated coming out of work insurance and having to go onto private health insurance. Or maybe you're turning 65 and you're trying to figure out what are the best options that meet your needs as well as your budget for Medicare. Or maybe you're coming out of a government program like Medicaid or Medi-Cal, and now you have to get health insurance on the private side. And we can help with all of that. So if you have any questions about your healthcare, leave them down below. We'll be happy to make a new video or post for that as well. Now, other than that, I am Michael, and this is California, wishing you a happy, healthy